Illinois continues to recruit at the best level that I can ever remember, landing two big-time offensive targets with running back Nelsyn Wheeler and tight end Will Vala, staying right there in that top 15 in the country in recruiting, continue to build off the success of last season on the field, and also what looks to be a really, really strong season this year. This is Group Chat Sports. Like and subscribe. We're covering portal recruiting, coaching changes, you name it, all across the country, including where I'm at right here, Champaign County, beautiful Champaign County. So let's get into it. Let's look at what Illinois is adding with these two young men. And let's start with Will Vala here out of Doners Grove North, Chicago suburbs, 6'3", 225, rated, modestly, number 28 player in Illinois, in-state kid, but somebody with a lot of ability, a lot of Big Ten interest. You see this here. Look, you see some of the schools listed, but I think there's a little added date. Wisconsin was in on him. Indiana was in on him. He was a big-time player in the Big Ten country and brings a lot to the table just from a skill set standpoint. Illinois is in on some very, very, very good tight ends this year, and has a big need in the recruiting class. But I think with a guy like Will Vala, you just had to go and get him. As we watch the film, see what he brings to the table. See him moving around. That's something you're going to see from him at Illinois. Contested catch. How about that? Two guys right next to him. This is 100% a move tight end. He's not going to be your inline guy. He does have some ability to block, as you see there. But I think inline, like Tanner Arkin, who you saw for Illinois coming up this year, I think that's really where he fits. Nice route running, hands catcher. He really does have nice film as far as what you want to see at this position, with the ability to separate quickly. Tight end's a quick separation position. It's not a position where you want to be a long strider. Tight areas, you want to be able to separate quickly. He does that. He's a hands catcher. He shows the physicality there. This is a guy who, again, the ranking doesn't blow you away, but teams like Louisville, teams like Kentucky, teams like Purdue, these are teams that produce players. Purdue just sent a tight end to Ohio State, who looks like he's going to be potentially one of the best tight ends in the country, Max Clares. These are programs that know what they're doing at this particular position. There's a lot of big fish that if you're Illinois, you're looking at tight end. J.C. Anderson, Max Sutter, 2 4-star tight ends from Central Illinois. But I don't think you can let a guy like Will Vala, with his skill set, you see, we got to run after the catch, just a complete game. This is a good football player. You just don't want this guy to leave. To me, he's I don't say your prototypical H-back, but he does a lot of things that you like at the H-back position. Quoting on his commitment, he says, "I love the program motto, family. It really shows how everyone is connected into a culture where anyone can be trusted to do their job. The coaching staff is very intelligent, have a lot of background in football. Coach Bielema talked about how he liked that I can move around all over the field, exactly what we've been talking about here. Said my ball skills and core flexibility while making difficult catches were impressive. We've seen that on these highlights, his ability to not only make catches and take blows with his core strength, but also right there, blocking bigger players without an issue and having the balance to do so. And Coach Bielema said, I have the physicality to block and I can be moved out to wide receiver as well. I think you're seeing all this on the film. It's not just recruiting talk. He knew going into his OV with that basically Wisconsin told him, hey, look, we got no more spots. We got our commits. Wish you the best of luck. And it was Illinois and Wisconsin as the top two. So that kind of sealed it to Illinois, right? The Wisconsin filled up. But I think from your Illinois, you didn't have to take this player. You took him because he is a really, really good football player. It's not like you're getting Illinois sloppy seconds. You're still in on some big-time 4-star players. Bielema was excited. Told Coach Danny Cameron, assistant tight end coach, Coach Disher, they were all very pumped up. And again, the Tanner Arkin comparison is something that Vala mentioned himself. H-back. Inline, potentially, I don't think he's going to live in that world. 12 personnel in the slot, kind of hybrid player. So this is a guy that I think brings a lot to the table for Illinois' class, which sits firmly in the top 15 in the country. Again, tight ends usually don't get used like this, man. And this is an area where you've seen a lot of tight ends come out of the Chicago area. I think a Cole Kmet as a recent one who's had success. And I like this. You're seeing on the defensive side of the ball. So not only does he have the toughness to block, but he has the toughness and physicality to play defense as well. So just a well-rounded football player. Good get for Bret Bielema and Illinois. I think this guy is going to be a pretty easy fit. Also, you're Illinois. What do you know for running the football? That has been, well, I would say it's been the signature under Bret Bielema, given his background. But Illinois was really a passing team last year with Luke Altmaier and those outstanding receivers led by Pat Bryant. So this has become a passing team Will Vala is going to have a lot of opportunities to catch football. But when Illinois and Brett Bielema are at their best, I think they're running the football. That's just what this program, to me, represents at its highest point. A physical team that can run the ball while also having this modern passing game with Luke Altmaier. So a guy like Nelsyn Wheeler, he's not just a grinder, man. This is an explosive back. Kind of reminds me of Epstein from back in the day, but probably more talented, but similar kind of explosive ability. Remember Epstein and how many big plays he made for the Illini. Fun player to watch, guy I watched since high school. But when you look at Wheeler, let's start by let's actually look at his 247 page first. Number 90 running back in the country on the 247, number 75 on the composite, number 9 player in Nebraska. If that school sounds familiar, Millard South, you also have an offensive line commitment from that same school. So doing some damage in Omaha, Nebraska, at Illinois. I mentioned Landon Van Sponsegger. We actually have a video on him on group chat from earlier in the year. But 152 carries, 1,000 yards, 7 touchdowns. And what I really like about this guy, as we put on the film, the speed, man. This guy is elite when it comes to speed at the running back position. I don't care where you go, Ohio State, Michigan. You have a running back that's running 10.7. That is big time, top end speed. Listed at about 200 pounds. So and he has some lateral quickness, but there it is right there. That's the juice. That's why you're recruiting Nelsyn Wheeler as hard as you are. Kansas in the mix. He does seem like the kind of back that Kansas has had in recent years. They know what they're doing at that position as well. But look at this guy's speed, man. I'm not sure how a guy like Matt Rule let this guy leave Nebraska. Matt Rule loves speed, loves verified measurables. And a guy like this who has that verified 10.7 speed that shows up on tape. Also, look at him here using the pass game as a blocker. How do you let a weapon like this leave? I really don't get it. You already have Jahvaree Barnett committed. We also did a video for him when he committed here on Group Chat Sports. We love Illinois, man. One of our favorite programs to cover. But had a video for Jahvaree Barnett out of Florida. Alabama's creeping around there. So you really need to add to your running back room. Thad Ward, Illinois running back coach, did a great job with Wheeler. He said me and Coach Ward have been in touch for a month or so. So really not the longest relationship. We have a really great relationship that goes beyond football. We can talk about pretty much anything. I said it to the official because I love what Illinois is doing. I love they have a great O-line, great running back room. Anytime you can return 16 players from a great team the previous season, it shows what kind of culture they have. I'm not saying it's a one-for-one comp. Size-wise, a little different. Man, I remember Chase Brown making a lot of big runs too. Probably, again, size-wise and just the way he plays reminds me more of Epstein, but I can see a Chase Brown type impact from this guy. I really think there's a big-time player. I'm shocked that Nebraska wasn't more in on this guy. It's rare that you have guys with this legitimate 4.4 speed that is verified, but that also have the lateral quickness to get outside as he does. Those two things often don't travel together. A lot of times it's just track. But this guy, you see him right here. You see the balance. Look at the leg strength to reverse field, break some tackles. He has that in his game as well. I don't think he's going to be a power back necessarily. He'll be the big back or the big playback, I'm sorry. But he has that in his game. Here you see him as a receiver, something he's going to have to do. Boom, finishes with some physicality. So big playback, legitimate speed, another weapon for Illinois in a class that I think is going to be, there already is top 15. We'll see how long it sticks in that range, but I think it's going to be probably the best class that Illinois signed in many, many years to go along with what is shaping up to be a golden age for the program. You hope they can meet expectations this year. I think they got a great shot to do so, but you're always working for the future with recruiting. So shout out to Coach Bielema. Shout out to all Illinois fans who subscribe to our show, or like and subscribe if you're new here. We'll be covering Illinois' recruiting classes, portal, all that stuff. One of the most fascinating programs in the country. Group Chat Sports. We'll keep you locked in. Please like and subscribe. Appreciate you.